Chapter 34. Day 8. Adelmo shuffled down the stairs from his bedroom, feeling the weight of exhaustion from yet another night plagued by the same recurring dream. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was some deeper significance to the dream, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Determined to find some answers, Adelmo made his way to the living room where his grandfather usually spent his mornings. Upon entering the living room, Adelmo found his grandfather engrossed in the morning newspaper. His grandfather looked up with a warm smile as Adelmo approached, asking how he had slept. Adelmo, still feeling the remnants of his unsettling dream, replied with a nonchalant, "Same as always." His hand instinctively went to his face, trying to dispel the lingering images from his mind. Sensing that something was amiss, Adelmo's grandfather inquired further, noting that Adelmo seemed to be lacking in sleep lately. Adelmo hesitated, unsure of how to articulate the strange occurrences that had been plaguing him. After a moment of contemplation, he simply stated, "A lot of strange things have been happening to me lately." His grandfather, ever perceptive, pressed for more details, but Adelmo evaded the conversation, opting to postpone the discussion for a later time. Adelmo's grandfather inquired, "So, what aspect of your family's past are you interested in learning about first?" Adelmo responded, "Actually, I'm more curious about why you resided in Germany for such a long time and then decided to relocate to Romania all of a sudden." His grandfather explained, "You see, our roots trace back to Romania. I spent many years in Germany due to a job opportunity that came my way." Adelmo seemed surprised and remarked, "I always believed we were of German descent. What kind of work were you involved in during your time in Germany?" His grandfather paused and replied, "Before I delve into that, it's essential to shed some light on our family's history." Adelmo nodded in agreement, saying, "All right, I'm interested to hear about our family's background then." Adelmo's grandfather proceeded to disclose a piece of information to Adelmo that he belonged to a group known as apparator, which translates to protector. Perplexed, Adelmo asked, "Protector of what, exactly?" His grandfather calmly responded, "Protector against evil forces." Adelmo, deep in thought, questioned further, "Protector against evil? But what kind of evil?" His grandfather simply stated, "Evil itself." Adelmo's grandfather beckoned him closer, his voice a low, ominous whisper that sent shivers down the young boy's spine. The room was dimly lit, casting eerie shadows on the walls as the old man began to recount a tale that had been buried in the depths of history. It was a story of a curse so sinister that it had plagued the planet since time immemorial. There was no escape from its clutches, no cure to be found, and those unfortunate souls who fell victim to its grasp were condemned to wander the earth for all eternity, forever trapped in a state of damnation. The curse, it seemed, had a peculiar way of infecting its victims. It targeted specific types of people, or even inanimate objects, sinking its malevolent claws into their very souls. Once infected, the curse would unleash a torrent of rage and despair, twisting and distorting the person's very essence. It latched onto a particular feature, a hidden darkness within, and transformed them into something unimaginable. These abominations, born from the depths of the curse, were whispered about in hushed tones, their existence shrouded in myth and disbelief. In the beginning, they were nothing more than a terrifying enigma, a nightmare that no one dared to speak of. As Adelmo listened intently to his grandfather's chilling tale, he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease creeping over him. The curse, with its insidious power, had remained hidden for centuries, lurking in the shadows of human consciousness. But now, as the truth slowly unraveled before him, Adelmo realized that these monstrous beings were not mere figments of imagination. They were real, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked within every soul. The curse had become a part of their twisted existence, forever etching its mark upon their wretched forms. And as Adelmo's grandfather concluded his tale, a foreboding silence settled in the room, leaving the young boy with a newfound fear of the unknown horrors that lay hidden in the depths of the world. The curse that has befallen the land is known as the Plague of Darkness, a malevolent force that transforms ordinary people into horrifying creatures of the night. Among these cursed beings are werewolves and vampires, each with their own insidious ways of surviving and spreading the curse. Werewolves, in particular, have a primal instinct to feed on flesh in order to sustain themselves. However, they also possess a keen sense of smell that allows them to detect others of their kind. The process of spreading the curse among werewolves is as sinister as the creatures themselves. When a werewolf's saliva enters the bloodstream of another individual, it marks the beginning of a transformation that will turn them into a beast like the one that cursed them. However, there is a catch to this curse. Werewolves only change under the light of the full moon. Once they have undergone their first transformation, they will continue to morph into their monstrous form every night following the first full moon. As the plague of darkness spreads its tendrils throughout the land, the once peaceful inhabitants are now living in fear of the night. The cursed beings, whether werewolves or vampires, lurk in the shadows, waiting to unleash their monstrous forms upon unsuspecting victims. The curse is relentless, with its victims doomed to live out their days as creatures of the night, forever haunted by the darkness that has consumed them. Adelmo's heart raced as he interrupted his grandfather, his voice trembling with fear. "Grandfather," he stammered, I saw something in that dark alleyway in New Orleans. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before. At first, it appeared to be a person, but then, in the blink of an eye, it transformed into a grotesque creature, resembling an animal from the depths of nightmares. The room fell silent as Adelmo's words hung in the air, the weight of his revelations sinking in. His grandfather's eyes widened, a flicker of recognition crossing his face. "My boy," he whispered, his voice filled with a mix of concern and ancient knowledge. "What you witnessed, it sounds like the work of a werewolf, a cursed being trapped between the realms of man and beast, forever condemned to roam the shadows." Adelmo's mind spun with a whirlwind of thoughts, his imagination conjuring up images of feral creatures lurking in the darkness, their eyes glowing with an unholy hunger. He shuddered, realizing the gravity of his encounter. Yet, despite his fear, a strange curiosity tugged at his soul. He allowed his grandfather to continue, eager to hear more about the supernatural world that had suddenly revealed itself to him, forever changing the course of his life.